Those stats mean nothing, especially when you've played Forest, Luton, and 10 men West Ham. For these kids, you'd wait years to achieve anything. That is from Black Gunner. Listen, I think that's a fair point. You have to review. It's like Newcastle. They've lost 3 of their opening 4 games, but look who they've been against. Man United lost their opening 2 away games, away at Spurs and away at Arsenal. Difficult places to go. Yeah, that's why. But that's also why I think you've got to wait 10, 11, 12 games until you've played a good mixture of people before you overly judge, which is still why calling for the manager to be sacked is premature for me. To be fair, take Partey and Jorginho and Trossard out of the Arsenal team. Pretty much everyone is 25 or younger. Reason we couldn't do it. It's an interesting point there, Alfred. It really is. Terry, are you sure the VPN and 3 p.m. games is legit? Well, it is legit, and it is not illegal. It's not illegal to use a VPN in the UK, and it's not illegal to subscribe and pay to a genuine channel who has Premier League rights. It's not illegal. It's certain countries are not allowed VPNs. That is, but I'm in the UK. I'm allowed to use a VPN, and I'm allowed to subscribe to an app that's available on the App Store. How can that be illegal? Think about it. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's absolutely legit. 220 million and he leaves Europe. FSG don't spend, we riot, is what Sharin says here. Terry, what I mean was nobody basically saw the impact Mo Salah was going to have coming. Yeah, listen, I get what you mean now, Nigel. I will say this as well, Nigel, that, and I want to say this in the right way, Liverpool are not going to fall off the face of the earth with Mo Salah leaving. It's not going to happen. They will still be a very, very, very good team. As a Liverpool fan, so I'm a Liverpool. I don't know. I meant to say that I ain't a Liverpool fan, but we are sell to buy model. I sell him and buy more players to add to the team. If we can't win a trophy without Salah, that's a problem, is what he's meant to say there. Thank you. Terry and Lee, last week's debate was epic. Don't do it today because I was in front of the computer for 3 hours. Big up, you guys. Love the show. It won't be that long today. I can assure you it won't be that long. I didn't even know it was last week until afterwards. People need to, already done that super chat there. There's some other one from Tad. We'll come to the Sancho stuff a little bit later in the show. Viewers, do us a big favor, though, and hit that like button. Please make sure you are subscribing to the Football Terrace as well. Terry, love your chocolate orange. Yeah, Terry's chocolate orange is a banging bit of chocolate, to be fair. It is. It's a banging bit of chocolate, so thank you. Terry is so smart. Not always, sometimes. I don't even know what you mean. Is Staffy in the crowd? What's Staffy saying? Where's Staffy at? I see people atting him. Does that mean he's here? Oh, here he is. Yes, we are Middle Eastern. I mean, I don't even know if you're being sarcastic or not. But that's always what I thought. I always thought, yeah, I think I'm right on that, but I may be wrong. There we go. Terry and Lee, think about it. Would any experienced player, 25 plus, want to join this madness of a project by Bowley? Only young players will join them because they are easy to control and would join this. I don't know, Nura. Again, I think that's too much of a generalization. I think that some older players would be attracted to it if they went for them. I don't think it's a case of they all said no, but that's just my personal opinion. Tottenham without Kane, do they have the same manager? Twat. Listen, I know you don't want to lose Salah, but I do believe, listen, you must have more faith in Klopp to keep you up the top of the table without Mo Salah. You're not telling me that Mo Salah is the only reason that Klopp's done well. Come on now. You'll be fine without him. You absolutely will. Terry, ask Lee why he turned. Okay. We already did that one last week. Egypt is a country located in Africa in the Middle Eastern region that speaks Arabic. Yeah. I hear you, bro. I hear you.
This geography lessons.
No, because somebody was saying that Mo's not an Arab, he's African, and I was saying, well, we're having a little conversation about that, but yeah, I don't want to start a political conversation because that's not what we want. But there we go. Viewers, make sure like buttons are hit. Make sure you are subscribing to the Football Terrace as well. What have you made of Caicedo's start to life at Chelsea? Because rivals are on it. They're like, listen, he might not be able to handle the price. They're calling him Kai Spice and saying that he's been a flop and he's going to keep struggling. Do you think this is just him time to bed in, or do you think there could be a problem here with him being surrounded by a lot of other youngsters?
I get why everyone's on him. 115 million quid, you've got to deliver. But having said that, when you're playing Enzo as the 10 and Conor Gallagher is your midfield partner, that ain't ever working. I'm sorry, that ain't ever working. Yeah, his start's been disastrous. It couldn't have gone any worse. But if you put Enzo next to him and put Conor Gallagher at number 10, yeah, I think that you'll actually see that he is a decent player. Because, listen, you don't just become crap overnight. Yeah, and systems are different at Brighton and the manager's different. I get all of that. But, yeah, it's not been a great start for him. But I do think, listen, Chelsea are a mess. Yeah, they're a mess at the moment. And the manager don't know his best formation. He doesn't know his best personnel. He doesn't know his best anything. And he's flapping. Yeah, I mean, in what world, right? If you actually put a poll out and said, what position is Conor Gallagher's best position, they'd probably all say on the bench. Do you know what I mean? They would. But if you're actually picking out of a number 10 and a number 8, he's a number 10. He's not a number 8. So I don't know why an experienced coach in Pochettino is playing him at number 8. And that ain't going to help Caicedo. Yeah, we've seen with Ten Hag at your football club. Look how out of his depth Casemiro's looked at times. Yeah, because you're playing him on his own. He can't play on his own in midfield and be a one-man midfield. As good as he is, you have to have somebody next to you that is equally as competent. Yeah, maybe not as good, but at least competent. And Conor Gallagher, nah, man, I don't see anything with that guy. I don't get it. If you're going to play him as a 10 call, he can pop a shot off here and there. He can thread a few balls through. But defensively going the other way, no, man, no chance. And then that means Caicedo's now at a new club with somebody who's not really a number 8. And now he's running around trying to make an impression and he's just making it worse. So, yeah, Poch needs to fix that real quick. Otherwise, that's going to look like the worst signing in history. I can't lie.
Yeah, look, I think it's 2 games. I think his general play's been okay. Was okay against Forest. Obviously, though, we know what the modern day world is like. And this is, again, where I think Chelsea fans have got to be strong. There's a guy I follow. He's a Chelsea fan called CFC Janty, I think his name is. And I'm actually going to read out his tweet. It was about Amrabat, who, of course, has been announced to that Man United. I'm very excited about him. I think he's an excellent player. But he put a tweet out, and I want to read it because this tweet, honestly, I was dying. I was dying with laughter. It was funny. Here it is. And because this is what rivals do now. He says, I can't wait for Amrabat's debut. Every misplaced pass, every missed chance, every loose touch, every 5-yard assist, any foul, we will come for you. We shall not let him rest. And that tweet made me laugh because that's literally what we've become as a fan, as rivals online. Everybody, or if you hate a player at your own club, it's because I know Staffy that's watching does this to certain Man United players. They're not watching to watch the game or for them to do well. They're hyper focused on any mistake they make. But when there's a player we like, and I know you do this because I do it too. When it's a player we like, we just look for the good bits. You know, it's like when you like. I'll give an example. Your experience. You're a man of the world. When there's a lady that you like. When there's a lady you like and you find attractive and you fancy a little bit of a horizontal hula, essentially, of course, you know as well as I do that any kind of flaws in her character, personality, whatever it may be, you overlook. Your best friend could tell you there's a problem, and you go
back searching for pictures on Instagram from 5 years earlier.
You go, shut up, you're jealous. However, if that person is somebody that you dislike, there's something about them that rubs you up the wrong way. My God, their breathing can annoy you and they frustrate you. They might chew too loud, or they're too tall, they're too short, or whatever it may be. And I think that happens in football. But that's why Chelsea fans have got to get back to Chelsea. That's why Chelsea have to. Get behind Caicedo and not suddenly go, I'm going to start siding with these rivals because that pressure is going to build. And by the way, I said the horizontal hula. The hula. You kids don't know what the hula is. The horizontal hula.
You said that as soon as I was sipping my water as well. That could have gone everywhere. Literally.
Well, it does when you do that. Does when you do the hula as well. Sometimes, to be fair, it goes everywhere. But that's another conversation for another day. It really is. But yeah, I think they've got to get behind him. They've got to get behind Caicedo. They've got. I want to see more fan bases become more supportive. High standards, high expectations, but do it in a supportive way rather than always crying and moaning. I think that era is done now. Do you know what I mean? Unless things are really bad, and then maybe you get a little bit animated.
Chelsea. They've gone 6 years without a title, Terry.
And they're trying to fix those problems. Get behind something. Get behind your players. Get behind them a bit.
Yeah, but Terry, you're talking to a fan base that have gone. A lot of that fan base, the older lot, have seen them be this bad. Yeah, they've then seen the Abramovich era. So I think the older heads are probably a little bit more okay, cool. Yeah, probably. I don't know, but I'd say that most of the older ones that have been there back in the 80s, the 90s or whatever, they've probably seen all of this before and they're like, okay, cool, let's just give it a chance. Whereas all the newer school fans that have grown up only seeing Chelsea win are the ones that are more impatient, which I get that. Yeah, I totally get that. And the thing is, when you've grown up in an era where Chelsea have hired and fired, they've brought in anyone they've wanted. Yeah, they've brought in player after player after player, but they've always kept winning. Then they're going to demand it a lot quicker because it's not the spoiled brat attitude, in my opinion. And if it is, well, you lot had it at Man United under Fergie. Yeah, and again, the older heads back then, now it's the older heads now are a little bit more calm with what Ten Hag's doing. But the ones that have grown up on Man United winning maybe one title and then followed since, they're all fuming. Because it's like, well, hang on a minute, look at our history, look at what we've got, look at our money, look at this. So I kind of get it.
Well, I do understand the emotion because I had it out with a few United fans the other day, and they admitted it to me. I'm not going to out them publicly because they'll get shit for it. They started supporting United because we were winning. They didn't fall in love with the club.
Most fans of these big clubs support because they're winning.
But this is the point I'm trying to make. So if you go, I'm supporting Arsenal because back in the day because they're winning. I'm supporting United because they're the best and they're winning. You're always, when they're not winning, I'm going to go for a period of not winning as regularly or at all, be fuming. But I didn't start supporting Man United because they were winners. It was everything about the club that I, watched and learned and listened to. Oh, I like that club. Something about them that just attracted me to them. I started supporting in the late 80s. We weren't winning nothing. We weren't. That was it. I started supporting in the era where like the banners were up to have Fergie sacks because nobody thought he was good enough. But so again, I suppose that's why I maybe look at these things a little differently.
There was no social media back then.
True.
So games weren't screened all over TV. You didn't have all these pundits sitting on Sky because that didn't exist. Like, do you know what I'm saying? All like it's all part of it. It's all part of the dramatization of football. Yeah, and making it sound like, oh yeah, Man United are great. Man United did this or Chelsea. Yeah, and then the trophies come as well. All of a sudden, the fan base gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And now they demand trophies every year. Yeah, because the standards have been set by Abramovich. So why should they lower their standards?
Rob, you do know that Man United in the 1940s and 50s had a supporters club in London that had over 65,000 official members. Like Man United have always
600,000 now.
Yeah, but we've always had a big fan base in that way. So but look, back to the Chelsea point. I understand why they're demanding high things, high levels, high standards. They want to win. But sometimes you've also got to factor in the reality of the situation. I just don't believe with the way they're going about things as a club, they're going to be able to build a title-winning team inside a season or two. These players are going to have time to mature. I don't think they're going to help these young players mature by treating them like a 28-year-old peak Didier Drogba and expecting the same level of consistency when they're still young. You have the ones like they can criticize the club saying, I think you've gone about it wrong. But you can do that while still supporting these young players develop. You don't have to hate on every single element. And I think that's what they've got to get right. It's that balance between the two things.
I understand that, but at the same time, just because they're young in terms of age doesn't mean they're young in terms of games played and experience in the game. Yeah, that Disasi's 25 years old, isn't he? How many games of football has he played?
I'm talking here about Caicedo. Caicedo's got a year and a half of football experience under his belt. Like, yes, there should be pressure, but you can't treat him like he's 30-year-old Claude Makelele and expect the same
record signing in the Premier League. That pressure comes, and he wanted to go Chelsea. He wanted to be the record. Well, he didn't demand the fee, of course, but he wanted to leave Brighton. Yeah, now he's realised real quick in the first couple of games that Chelsea is bigger than Brighton. light years clear.
Yeah.
So, and the fan base and the expectations and the demands are a lot different. You know, Brighton, it don't matter. I've said this to you before. It don't matter if they don't win every week. It doesn't matter. Yeah, don't matter, does it? Because there's no pressure on them to win. At Chelsea, there's pressure to win. It's Chelsea.
Well, the thing is, when he was at Chelsea, this is the thing I mean by supporting him. When he was at Brighton, he's probably made some similar mistakes to the ones he made the other day, but no one clips it up and put it out because no one cared. And like that CFC Janty said, and we've all done it to each other now. Now that Caicedo is being clipped up, Amrabat will be clipped up. Kai has obviously been clipped up. That's what every fan base does to each other now.
For his goal, anyway.
Who?
Rice.
We're not on that section yet, so can we stop? I don't want to think about it too early, but look, Chelsea fans, let us know what you think and what you feel.